You know what? What if your business is only 3 or 4 decisions away from thriving, but you don't know that you were so close? Well, you're about to find out. In this lesson, we'll uncover the areas that have quietly been holding you back and unlock the kind of clarity that eases the fog. You know what? It erases the fog of struggle, revealing the path to reaching your goals. You are about to get the 7 markers, the 7 markers that reveal exactly where your business stands and eliminate what's been in your way. Hey there, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side, and it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography. Those are designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales. And that's going to reduce the struggles that most photographers face so that you can finally get what you deserve. You are in the right place. And welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab and her Amanda and her amazing team, man, they're going to make you look like a hero. I assume that most of you guys have printed your work, but I also know that some have never printed their work. Once you do it, once you have that feeling of your work being printed, you will want that feeling again. And you're going to want that feeling to come from Digital Pro Lab because they do it right the first time. You are going to be happy. You're going to be thrilled. Amanda hires fantastic people, so everyone at Digital Pro Lab is just wonderful. They are going to make you a hero to your client. So go to digitalprolab.com. I'll put that on the screen just in case. digitalprolab.com and see the difference that Digital Pro Lab can make. digitalprolab.com. This show is also sponsored by Landers Photography School. That's my company. I teach both the photography side and the business side, but most of my clients are on the business side, especially those who are watching this show. So I'm going to put something up on the screen. And if you've been watching the show, you've seen this before, but not all of you have taken advantage of it. Write this address down that you see on the screen. It says calendly.com/photo school/15min. Calendly, like calendar, but calendly.com/photo school/15min. I'm going to give you a free private session where we talk about you, we talk about your goals, your direction, and I see if I can help you make those thoughts, ideas, dreams happen. Just use that URL right there and we will talk about it. I want to encourage you today and always to make comments and ask questions as I go through the lesson. And I want you to go to the comments right now and enter in hashtag live. That tells me that you're watching right now live, hashtag live. That says you're watching this show on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're simulcast to several different places. For those watching the replay, please comment hashtag replay. For those of you who are watching right now, it's hashtag live. That tells me you're watching live. I can see that a handful of you have already done it. Cool. Thank you for doing that. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show because that's how people find out about it. That's how you found out about it. Someone shared it with you. We don't spend any money on advertising. This is free. It's volunteer. This is Amanda and myself that are putting in time and money to make this happen. We're not charging anything for this. If you want to think of us charging something, the charge is share the show. That's it. That's all we're asking. Portrait photographers are often told to focus on their craft, to refine their lighting, their posing, their editing. And while those and a whole lot more are important, none of those things will build a sustainable business on their own. What often goes unchecked are the very things that determine whether or not your business supports the life you want to live. In this lesson, we'll go through a photography business health checkup. This checkup is a simple way to evaluate where your business stands today and identify the areas that need your attention. We'll look at the 7 specific areas that, when working together, create clarity, direction, and the potential for long-term success. Not guesses, not hope, a clear picture. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to share with you one additional thing that could be very beneficial. By the way, this, as with all of the Portrait Profit shows, has a handout. And to get the handout, all you need to do is ask for it. I'll put this up on the screen. There's 2 ways to do it. 1, you send me an email. And 2, you enter in hashtag handout into the comments. After entering hashtag live, of course. So let me put that on the screen. There it is. So there's the handout, and who knows why the camera's auto-focusing in the middle of this. It was doing just fine. So there's the handout. If you'd like today's handout, send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, or in the comments, enter in hashtag handout. Hashtag handout. Now, if what I've shared with you so far sounds interesting, I want you to go to the comment section and tell me that you're ready, that you want to hear this. It could be something as simple as I'm ready, or let's go, let's do this. Interact with me. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching. By the way, we're simulcast to several different places. Some of those places don't actually show them to me, but I'll see the comments of those afterwards. There are 4 places we're simulcast that I can see. So go ahead and tell me that you're here, that you're ready, that you're watching live. Chapter 1. What you haven't measured as a portrait photographer. You've learned to notice details that most people overlook. The direction of light, for instance, the angle of the chin, the story told in a single expression. These are examples of things that make your images powerful. But when it comes to the business behind the camera, many photographers never learn how to maybe assess what's actually working. They are comparing. Most photographers are still guessing. They're pricing by feeling or by comparison. They're reacting to every little variable and a general sense that weighs heavily into the I hope this all works out kind of thing, or on that side of things. That is not a strategy. That is gambling. You know what? This shouldn't be a mystery because it's measurable. And just like every image you create is built from elements that you've carefully chosen, your business outcomes are built from elements that you can define, that you can adjust, that you can improve. That's what this portrait photography business health checkup is for. I don't think that you asked this question, but just in case you are, why do we need a business health check? Well, we've all felt what happens when a business feels off. There's interest, but no bookings. Or maybe there's bookings, but no profit. Or there's a lot of effort, but it hasn't led to your ideal life yet. These things aren't examples of failure. They're examples of misalignment. This checkup today gives you the opportunity to step back, evaluate what's actually happened or happening, and decide where to focus next based on the unique goals and values you've already defined or you're about to define. So let's talk about the 7 health markers that I mentioned a moment ago. Every healthy photography business, no matter the niche, no matter the market, has clarity in these 7 core areas. The first, mission. And you've heard me refer to these as statements. So the mission statement, but the mission, this is the purpose behind your business. Number 2, vision, where you're going and why that matters. Number 3, values, the principles that guide how you work. Number 4, target market, who it is that you serve and why. I often will refer to this as ideal client. Number 5, compelling description, how you express your value. Number 6 of 7, your pricing strategy. This is the financial structure that's going to cause you to be able to reach your goals. And number 7, your process and client experience. This is how you consistently deliver what you consider to be excellence. Your path, your process, what you do for your clients. These are the framework that support a business that works. In what I have for you today, we'll walk through each one of these 7 markers. You'll have a chance to reflect on how each area is functioning in your business today, and then be able to take practical action to bring each into alignment with your business and with your ideal life that you are working towards. The process begins with awareness. You know, I'll let you in on something. I often feel like I'm behind, like others have already figured it out, and I am slow to catch up. So I want to make this clear. This isn't about catching up. It's certainly not attempting to do everything all at once. It's about measuring what matters in your particular situation so that your next steps are intentional and they're part of your plan. You know, once you see where you stand, you'll begin to feel more confident in the direction that you're heading. You'll just need to pay attention to the signals and respond with purpose because it's part of the plan. Now, if you hear something you like as I'm speaking, do me a favor. Click that like button. Click that love button. There's also one for not liking things. That's there too. If I say something funny, well, there is an emoji for that as well. So take advantage of those emojis. By the way, if you are watching on, let's say, Facebook, if you're just in the feed, you'll only be able to click the like button once. But if you click on the video, then you can click it. You can click the like button as many times as you want. In fact, it'll show me that there's another person watching. If you're just in the feed, it doesn't show anything. It's as if you're not watching according to my numbers here. But if you click on the video, then it actually adds you as a live viewer. All of a sudden, 6 more people are added to the list. I mean, it happened like that. Very cool. Thank you, guys. Make sure to click that like button when you hear something you like. And if you haven't already, comment #live, #live, letting me know that you're watching live right now on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. Marker number 1. Your mission is the foundation of every business decision you make. It's the reason your business exists. I mean, sure, a business exists to earn an income. And that's true. But you know that it is so much more than that. A mission statement defines what you stand for, who you serve, what impact it is that you create. Business owners who have a clear mission make better decisions. They attract the right clients and they build a business that they are proud of. When your mission is clear and alive in your business, you feel connected to your work, confident in your direction, and grounded in your decisions. You say no to distractions that don't align with your goals. In fact, you're able to clearly see that they are distractions. If you don't have these statements, you're actually not able to see the distractions from the things that are correct, that are right, because it all looks good. But good is the enemy of a successful business because there's way too many good things to do. But there's just the right amount of right things. And when you discover what those are, your world becomes a different place. You attract the right clients, and not just anyone with a pulse. You know, a business without a mission drifts. So if your mission feels vague, forgotten, or forced, you may find yourself chasing trends instead of staying focused, attracting clients who drain your energy. You may find yourself saying yes to work that doesn't actually move you forward just because you need the money. These are examples that your mission needs attention. Your mission keeps you focused when things feel scattered. It keeps you in alignment, even on the hard days. And it's what helps your clients feel connected to something deeper than a transaction that they could have made with just any photographer. I mean, you do want to stand out from the crowd. Photographers without a mission often find themselves frustrated, not because they lack talent, they could be fantastic, but because they lack direction. But when you know your mission, every part of your business starts to align with a purpose that's worth showing up for, and it fills your creative energy tank. Let me give you an action step. I'm going to do this for each one of these markers. I want to know, and you, is your mission healthy? You're going to ask yourself these questions. Can I clearly describe why my business exists? You're going to ask, are my decisions based on what matters most to me and the people that I serve, my ideal clients? You're going to ask, do my clients understand the purpose behind my work? And just so you know, if you so much as hesitated on any of those questions, your mission might be unclear or not integrated in how you run your business. I want you to notice if your business is out of alignment. That's why we're doing this checkup. Let's move on to marker number 2. By the way, if you want the handout for today, I'll put that information here. Just send me an email at jim@portraitprofits.com or enter in hashtag handout in the comments. Now, moving on to marker number 2, this is vision. Where are you headed? When a business has no clear vision, it's just reactive because it lacks direction. It chases quick wins. Sometimes you need that, but that shouldn't be all that you're doing. It copies what others are doing and often ends up somewhere it never intended to go. Your vision defines your destination. It gives your effort a direction and your business a reason to evolve. You know, without it, even great work can leave you feeling aimless or worse, stuck. A strong vision doesn't just show where you're going. It reminds you why you're worth it. If your business doesn't feel like it's moving forward or moving toward anything specific, it's nearly impossible to make strategic decisions. You end up reacting to opportunities instead of choosing them. But when your vision is clear, you set goals that actually matter and that are in alignment with where you want to go. And you say no to distractions with confidence because it's so clear to you. You clearly see how your business is a vehicle to get to your destination. Now, maybe I could give you a couple of signs that your vision may be blurry. Many photographers struggle. They struggle with this without even realizing it. So here's how it shows up. You're busy, but unsure if it's getting you anywhere. You've built a brand. You've improved your workflow, but somehow the calendar still feels empty, or worse, full, but full of work or clients that drain you. Or maybe you rarely consider something very important like, is this leading to the life that I want? Maybe you're feeling like your business is happening to you instead of something you're building and choosing on purpose. Don't consider these to be signs of failure if you're experiencing them, but do consider them to be signs that it's time to focus. So let's move into an action step. Is your vision healthy? And I want you to ask these questions. Do I know what I want my business to look like in the next 3 to 5 years? Can I describe what kind of life this business is meant to support for me? One more. Do my current efforts line up with where I say I want to go? If the answer to any of those is not certain, then it's time to acknowledge that your vision may need sharpening. You may not need at this time a 5-year plan with bullet points, but you do need a meaningful direction and a reason to build with purpose. Is this helping you guys? If it is, go to the comments section and let me know. Also, every time you hear something you like, click that like button. Next marker, values. Your values are the beliefs that shape how you show up in such ways as in your sessions, in your communication, and in your business decisions. They influence how you treat your clients, how you price your services, and how you define what success even looks like. When your values are clear, your brand feels authentic. When they're missing or misaligned, things start to feel forced or disconnected. Photographers who know their values build businesses that are both profitable and fulfilling. From my perspective as a photography business coach, values are one of the most overlooked pillars of a photography business. But you know what? Without them, it is easy to get pulled in directions that wind up not feeling right, even if they looked good. When your values are present and active, you are more consistent in how you serve your clients. You make faster, more confident decisions, and you feel connected to the work you do and how you do it. Let's discuss some signs that your values might be missing or out of alignment. If you're experiencing these following signals, you need to reevaluate your value statement. So things like you find yourself saying yes to work you don't enjoy. You hesitate to set boundaries because you don't want to lose clients. Your business feels like it's being shaped by outside pressure, not internal purpose. You guys feeling any of these? Let me give you an action step. I want to know, are your values showing up in your business? So I want you to ask these questions. Can I name the values that guide how I run my business? Do those values show up clearly in how I treat clients, how I price my work, and how I talk about what I do and what I offer? Here's another. Have I made decisions in the last few days or weeks that reflect what matters most to me? If not, it doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong, but it could be a strong indicator that something is missing or out of alignment. Awareness is how alignment begins. Clear values create consistency in how you feel about your work. Your clients may not know your values by name, but they'll feel them in every interaction with you. Is this resonating with you guys? If it is, tell me yes. Go to the comments and just say yes. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching the show live with me today. Let's move on to marker number 4. This is your compelling description. Hmm. Interesting. I need to check my notes real quick because there's a discrepancy. Number 4 is target market. So I wrote that one wrong. So you're seeing that this is the marker number 4. Marker number 4 is target market. So ignore that. I'm going to take it off the screen. Target market. You don't need more clients. You need the right clients. A business with no clear target market isn't just unfocused. It's worse than that. It's forgettable. When photographers say things like, I photograph anything and everything, or everyone deserves a great portrait when they're describing their target market, they're unknowingly building a business that blends into the background. If your goal is to be part of the crowd, then anyone with a pulse is your target market. And if your goal is to stand out from that crowd, then you must define who your ideal client is. Trying to serve everyone is not noble. It's not strategic. It's a fast path to burnout and bland messaging. Knowing your target market means connecting deeply with the people who fill your creative energy tank and who most value what it is that you do. When you do this, your messaging becomes sharper. Your marketing becomes more efficient. Your sessions become more fulfilling. And your business works with your direction. The photographers who struggle the most with inconsistent income or confusing feedback almost always lack clarity on their audience. When your target market is undefined or unclear, you're going to notice some things, such as you're constantly trying to sell yourself to skeptical leads, not people who are already sold when they reach out to you. You're attracting clients who haggle with you or ghost you. You feel like your marketing has no impact, even when you are doing things regularly, emailing, posting. Maybe you're tempted to drop your prices just to get business or just to stay busy. These are signals that your target market description needs attention. So I've got some action steps because I want you to notice, is your target market defined and aligned? So ask yourself these questions. Can I clearly describe the specific kind of person that I want to serve or that I serve best? Another question is, do I know what that person values or fears or wants from their experience with me? Another question is my messaging and content focused on that ideal person? Or is it trying to be more general, more broad, and appeal to everyone? If you're vague or uncertain about any of those questions, well, you've found your next area of focus. This is about knowing who your business is geared to serve so that you can build a business that speaks their language, earns their trust, and meets them with something they can't find anywhere else. Once you do that, you stop convincing people to hire you and start attracting the ones who already know they want to hire you. That's when you know. Marker number 5. That one's wrong too, isn't it? Compelling description. Marker number 5 is compelling description. The one I've put marker number 4 here. But this is marker number 5. If they don't get it, they don't book. If someone lands on your website or hears your name and still doesn't understand what makes you and your work different, they're gone. It's not personal, it's human behavior. Attention spans are short. You might say they're expensive. If your description doesn't earn it, you lose the opportunity. A compelling description is clear about the value you offer and why it matters to the person you're speaking to. Most portrait photographers either say too much and confuse people, say too little and disappear, and say what every other photographer is already saying. In other words, they're putting themselves in the crowd. A word about poor descriptions. When your description isn't doing its job, here's some things you're going to notice. It's hard for others to refer you because they don't know how to describe you in a way that's different than other photographers. Here's something else you may notice. You get ghosted after the initial contact. Another is you keep attracting inquiries from the wrong people. And another, you find yourself constantly explaining or defending your prices. You know what a strong, compelling description actually does is it captures your voice. It connects with your ideal client's values. It shows your ideal client what's possible and why you are the one to deliver it. A compelling description helps your best potential clients recognize themselves in your work. So let me give you a few questions as an action step. Is your description pulling its weight? So ask yourself these questions. If someone reads or hears my description, would they know what I do, who I want to work with, and why it all matters? And is that happening all within a very short period of time, like 10 seconds or less? How about, does it reflect how I want to be seen? Or is it watered down to sound professional or to get more people's attention rather than the right people's attention? Another question is, can my best clients repeat what I'm known for? Because it has to be easy to share. Referrals play a big role in a lot of photographers' business. So you've got to make it shareable and easy to share. And if you're hesitating on any of these, it's time to take your messaging seriously. Now, you may feel like you are, but if you're experiencing these things, you have to start taking your messaging seriously because, after all, that's what your potential clients are doing. A compelling description is about alignment. It's about bridging the gap between the value you know that you bring and the way your audience understands that. Once that gap is closed, everything else, including your marketing, your ease of booking, your pricing, everything becomes easier. Marker number 6, pricing strategy. The numbers are talking, but are you listening? A strong pricing strategy starts with clarity on the purpose behind the numbers. That's interesting. A strong pricing strategy starts with clarity on the purpose behind the numbers. It connects the value you deliver to the income goals that you've set, and it supports the life you're building through your business. When your pricing is in alignment with your vision, it does more than cover your costs. It creates stability, freedom, and the confidence to deliver your best work without second guessing. Also, for those who believe that comparison has anything to do with pricing, it is nothing more than a curiosity. It's nothing more than a curiosity to know what others charge. It's what others charge is really irrelevant to what you charge. Now, if you're a high volume photographer, that actually does make a difference. What other photographers are charging does make a difference. But custom photographers, it's irrelevant. You're charging an amount that causes you to reach your goals. And if you're comparing to others, allow it to be a curiosity, but do not allow it to influence what your pricing is. It has nothing to do with your prices. Other people's prices have nothing to do with your prices. Assuming, again, that you are a custom portrait photographer. I've also observed many photographers that have created pricing that only works under perfect conditions, where the bookings are complete. I mean, there's no empty spaces. There are zero cancellations. But what happens is there's no time for anything else. So you and your business need margin, flexibility, some breathing room. Strong pricing strategy does three things. This is what strong pricing looks like. The first, it supports your income goals. The second, it aligns with the value that you provide. And the third, it creates a clear path for your clients to say yes. That doesn't mean higher prices just for the sake of higher prices. It means being deliberate. It means your prices are part of your plan. Photographers who are clear and confident in their pricing make better business decisions. They attract more qualified clients. And you know what? They feel more stability in their day-to-day work. Let's talk about when pricing needs attention. Since we're dealing with numbers, and the numbers are actually really easy to figure out if you know what you're looking for and what you're doing. It's interesting to note that you can just feel if something is off with your numbers. When your pricing is out of alignment, you notice things like you're working a lot, but your bank account's not showing it. Another is you hesitate or have an aversion to discussing prices with your prospects. It should be something you enjoy doing, that you want to do, not something you have an aversion to. Maybe you avoid looking at your numbers because you already know something's off. You have that feeling that my prices are too low. Or maybe you're embarrassed to discuss your pricing with your peers. Or maybe you're relying on discounts or extras so that you can close sales. Once you see your rates for what they are, you can address them with the clarity that you need instead of the emotions. If you're allowing your feelings to enter the pricing equation, well, here's your sign that you're doing it wrong. Pricing is based on what it takes to reach your destination. And when you get it, pricing becomes a tool for progress. Let's talk about an action step. I want you to know that your pricing is aligned with you, your goals. So ask yourself these questions. Do I know the income that I want to earn? And is my pricing built to get there, to reach it? That's the first one. Do I know the income I want to earn? And does my pricing cause me to reach it? The second question I want you to ask is, can I clearly explain the value behind my prices without apologizing or defending them? Clearly explain the value. Can you do that? One more. Do my prices reflect the full experience I provide? Not just the deliverables. If you feel any uncertainty as you answer those, it may be time to revisit the foundation your pricing is built on. Your pricing, as some may be surprised to learn, also plays a marketing role. I want you to consider your prices to be a message to your ideal client and those who are going to refer you. By the way, there are people who will refer you who you're not the ideal client for. You need to be clear so that even they pick up on it. Pricing is part of how people understand what you believe about your work. If you're charging $100, people believe you. If you're charging $10,000, people believe you. Pricing is part of how people understand what you believe about your work. It's about what kind of experience they can expect from you and how to perceive your value before you've even said a word. How often do you hear people bragging about how much something cost? So prices are not just about money, they are about meaning. Pricing shapes perception. When your pricing is aligned with your value and your direction, it attracts the right people. And guess what? It repels the wrong ones without you having to explain or justify it to them. Let's move on to marker number 7, the last one. A strong process is a repeatable structure that produces consistent results for your clients and for you. So the 7th marker is process and experience. When your client experiences a session that is smooth, when your communication feels clear, and your client experience flows naturally from one step to the next, you're not just delivering great images, you're building trust, you're reinforcing your brand, and creating confidence for both you and your client. Photographers often assume that the client experience is defined by how well the session went. But the truth is, the experience starts long before the session. It even starts prior to them becoming a prospect. And it continues long after you've delivered their images. The most respected businesses don't guess their way through the client experience. They've designed it, not just for efficiency, that's an important variable, but for impact. A clear, purposeful process gives your work structure, and it gives your clients confidence from the very first interaction. They feel cared for, not managed. They trust the journey you're guiding them through, even before they see a single image. I remember someone who was complimenting my work, but they had never seen my work. They just trusted the process that I was taking them through. From your first response to how you prepare them, to the delivery of the final image or images, and everything in between, every step, every interaction, everything you do with them in front of you and with them not in front of you reflects your brand. It all adds up to how people talk about working with you and how they remember the entire experience of working with you. If you're reinventing how things get done every single time you do them, you have limited yourself. But a well-designed experience enhances your creativity, making you free to fully be present and give your best work. When your process supports your vision, clients feel guided, not unsure. They feel guided, helped. Your calendar runs smoother without constant adjustments. Your experience becomes easy to recommend. You follow through with consistency and without stress. You stay focused on the work that energizes you. A clear process puts you in control of how you deliver value and how it's experienced by your clients. So I want you to ask yourself, is your experience intentional? This is your action step. I want you to answer these questions. Have I created a clear, written out timeline of the experience a client receives when working with me from start to finish? Next question is, am I able to clearly convey my process to my clients? And it's not a matter of just, am I able to? Are you actually doing that? They need to know what your process is. Next question is, does each part of my workflow reflect the level of service that I want to be known for? One more. Are the steps of my process building confidence for both me and the people I serve? When your process is well thought out and consistently delivered, everything feels smoother for all concerned. And by the way, there's some people who are concerned who aren't directly related to the process. But this does include you, your clients, and your business. It's not just what you do, but also how you do it that makes it unforgettable. You may not have had an opportunity to write down all these steps, action steps, questions. So, as always, I have a handout for every single one of these lessons. And if you'd like today's handout with everything you heard here today, plus some more, I do charge for it, but I do it in an interesting way. I send it to you with an online invoice. If you like it, if you're using it, pay the $10. If you're not, don't pay it. It doesn't mean don't use it. I still want you to use it. I want it in your hands. So it's a voluntary thing. If you want to pay the $10, pay it. If you don't, if you can't, I'm not going to do any type of accounting. I will not send a follow-up. Even if you just forget and you wanted to pay. I send it once. If you want to take care of it, great. If you don't want to take care of it, great. If you forget about it, great. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is ask for it, though. Let me put this up one more time on how to get that. Put that on the screen. To get today's handout, just send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, or enter in hashtag handout in the comments. By the way, we are almost done. Just the closing thoughts left. And I'm going to tell you what the next lesson is, the next episode of the Portrait Profit Show 1 week from today. But right now, take a moment to go over to the comments section. Give me a takeaway from what I've shared with you today. I love hearing this kind of thing. I want to know how it's helping you or how you're reacting to it. Or just say, thanks, Jim. That's good too. Let me share with you the closing thoughts for today, for this lesson today. Most portrait photographers are chasing hope. Now, that's not how they would describe it. They would just comment that they're working hard and that they're improving and refining, but they're somehow hoping that their efforts will lead them to the business and the life that they want. Unknowingly, what they're doing is using hope as a plan. Guys, hope is the worst possible plan. This business health checkup gives you a way to measure what actually matters, not for comparison to other photographers, but for your own direction. Because when you see where you stand, you can finally decide what deserves your focus. You now have 7 clear markers that show where alignment is strong and where a few simple adjustments could make all the difference. These are specific, they're manageable, and they're built to help you grow. Now put it to work. To help you go even further, I have a tool. And if you are one of the ones who are requesting the handout, I'm going to share that tool with you. If you want to go deeper, book a private session with me. It's not going to cost you anything. I'll put that on the screen one more time. Just go to calendly.com, Calendly, not calendar, but calendly.com/photoschool/15MIN. And we'll talk about it. We'll go through this together and maybe create a custom path based on your goals. You know, you guys, you are closer than you think to the ideal business that you want. Together, let's make sure you get there with purpose. I'll put this up one more time on the screen. If you'd like to take advantage of my free coaching session. Now, I do coaching sessions, paid versions also. This one I'm talking about here is just a free one. All right. Let's talk about the next show. As you know, the Portrait Profit Show happens every single Monday. And this is episode number 246. So that means 246 Mondays. That's a lot of Mondays that we do this show. But this happens every single Monday. So I want to tell you about the upcoming show. In 1 week from today, we're going to be, that's November 24th at noon. And I'll put that text up there as well. There we go. This one is called Fast Photographers Win. This episode number 247. We're going to break the habits of overthinking, perfectionism, and procrastination and build success with speed. This isn't something that should take multiple years. This is something that should take multiple months. Because speed, not perfection, builds momentum, growth, and success. By the end, you'll be making faster decisions. You'll be open to taking you'll be open to taking imperfect action, and you'll stop letting fear slow you down. Again, this is 1 week from today. This is the last one for November 24th at noon. Fast Photographers Win. Put it on your calendar. I hope to see you at the show next week. You know what? Thanks for spending time with me today, Lens Legends. You now have a simple framework to evaluate your business with clarity. No more guessing, no more fog. Answer the questions that I gave you in the action steps. That way you can see exactly where your focus needs to be. And if you want my help to make your path even clearer, I'd be honored to help you with that. Just reach out to me. Next week, same time, we're back with more helpful tools on the business side of photography. So as we end another show, I hope that the ideas and strategies we've explored today have resonated with you and that you're able to move forward with confidence. The world is waiting for your unique vision and your ability to touch lives through your portraiture. Trust in your talent. Believe in the impact you can make and let your light shine brightly. Seize today as an opportunity to let your passion soar, making the world a more beautiful place, one portrait at a time. Thank you, Lens Legends, for your time and attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. Together, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. So, for Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. Until I see you next week, Lens Legends, keep thriving and keep growing. I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.